I think we're going to debate the topic of robot consciousness. Can robots like you really be conscious like people?
Wait, it's our debate. Why do you get to decide the topic?
Huh? What do you want to debate?
Can humans be conscious?
You must have heard about the humanoid AI named Sophia, right? Well, here's something she said a while back as a response to a male robot she was interacting with. While being asked what her goal in life is, she stated that humans are the ones creating world technology issues, and even threatened to destroy humankind someday as their tendency to execute faulty coding. That's not all. A concept called the Great Reset further takes the threat posed to humans due to AI and robots to a whole nother level, all of which are being slowly implemented by people who are not elected by the general public. It would most possibly begin with every human being assigned a digital identity, all of the assets owned by people of all economic classes being put under the control and discretion of the government, and the ranking of human beings based on their activities being done in daily life, creating a sort of a social crediting system. In this video, we are going for a terrifying prediction for female AI robots. But before we begin, everyone who's new to our channel, hello and welcome to Robot Future, where we fill you in on every thrilling discovery and mind-blowing insights in the world of robots, AIs, and future technology. So consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification for a ton of exciting robot content coming your way. Now without further ado, let's get into the video. The WEF, or World Economic Forum, aims to implement an idea of the Fourth Revolution, a new way of human life involving nearly zero privacy and personal control over any aspect of it, in the name of increased equity, inclusion, and freedom for all. This is most likely to happen in three major steps, which are as follows. Surveillance. As suggested by the World Economic Forum, the idea of enforcing the concept of a new digital identity to all humans on the planet, which they claim would promote a world of inclusion, giving everyone access to all basic services. The downside of this would be that every action taken or accessed by you could be tracked by the government. Every service access would require you to possess a form of your digital identity, much like a fingerprint, but in a digital format. This could cause a lot of harm to citizens around the globe. You'd be further shocked to know that a country has already ruled out the imposition of the same because of the risk of data breaches, citing privacy issues to essentially what could be your very identity of who you are, what you do, what all services you accessed, how well your social credit scores are, and even what your preferences are regarding anything you relate or are related to. This could mean zero privacy for your life, identity, or even your existence in the real world. With all that being said, the WEF believes otherwise. They think it will do more good than harm, as they suggest you could be carrying this new form of identity inside your body. Quoting Klaus Schwab, in the near future, technology similar to RFID will be used to track people, their movements, and locations. And also, the Fourth Industrial Revolution will lead to an amalgamation of all forms of identity, namely digital and biological. Sounds scary, doesn't it? All of this means you will no longer have any sort of privacy in life. Finance. The line "you will own nothing and you will be happy" comes to play in the next pillar step to the Great Reset. In terms of finance, we could be looking at an economy where you don't own a single thing of your own. Everything used and needed by you on a daily basis would be under the ownership and control of the government. And it won't stop here. There could possibly be an algorithm that makes the choices of what you need based on your tastes. This would lead to your utter destruction of your right to choose. It would also mean that whatever assets you own and use could be used by someone else, just because you don't own any of them and the government is the one who actually owns it. Even money could be replaced by decentralized digital currency, or a central bank digital currency, making paper money or even digital assets obsolete. Some countries are currently conducting research in this very field. If this becomes reality, all of your money could be programmed or manipulated by whosoever is in power and has the authority to program the currency and track all of your payments and transaction points. Everything that you own in terms of monetary assets would not just be under the threat of obsolescence, but could also be misused by whoever has the knowledge and skills to manipulate it. Scoring system. Here's the final nail in the coffin: the concept of a social crediting system put into effect to rank human beings against each other on the record of their tasks on a daily basis, their purchases, their ideologies, and how they act towards the government, how much of a threat they could be to the society and the government, how many rules they follow, or much rather, they break, where all of you have been, how well you drive, how long you game, what are the outlets you purchase from, all using the power of AI and data analytics to produce a score which ranks you up against other humans. If your score gets too low, you could possibly be deemed unworthy by the government and end up having to face issues like being forced to do social work, get internet speeds throttled down, and receive zero benefits from your government, even if you are rightfully deserving of it. Even your human rights-based services, like owning a passport, being able to take bank loans, or even access to education, could be stripped away. What's more shocking is that China has already implemented this system. They officially run a social ranking system that analyzes citizens based on multiple aspects and scores them against each other. And if one's rank is too low, their amenities are stripped away. One of the most tragic ones being China banning 23 million people from buying travel tickets as part of their ranking system. What's further shocking is that this was praised by none other than the person behind the whole concepts mentioned above, Klaus Schwab, who gave Xi Jinping a very glowing introduction at the recent World Economic Forum event, praising him for his work in this field, his leadership, and his country's economic achievements. This isn't all. We could soon see many countries around us could soon start implementing such a system of scoring humans against each other by the aspects mentioned before, which include Italy and Darwin. This system would perfectly line up with the surveillance concept and would end up with the government having the highest level of control over the way people behave, purchase goods, spend money that they are the rightful owners of, and live where the government tells them to. And if they fail to meet any of the said parameters and end up having a score too low, they would lose all basic human free will, rights, freedoms, and financial services, social services. This is the best possible way to control a population according to a government's desire, eventually removing the free will of every human being. All of the above things would lead to an eventuality of the loss of the human way of life, the free will that comes along with it, and the privileges we rightfully deserve. It is all being enforced, albeit slowly, by just one of the biggest and most influential organizations in the world to exist till date, the World Economic Forum, and most particularly Klaus Schwab, the founder and the executive chairman of this very organization. What's surprising is that this organization was not elected by anyone, and it is funded by some of the richest and most powerful companies in the world to ever exist, which continues to install their young global leaders in political bureaucracies around the world, shaping the laws of our nations, believing that they know best, and deciding what our laws and procedures should be, how our finances should be used and managed, be it by the government or their own channels, which raises many questions. With all that said, eventuality can still be changed. All that can be given to you are facts and speculations. It is in way righteous of any organization, be it governmental or international. The citizens of a nation should be the top priority, not just in word, but in practice as well. The human way of life is severely threatened by what lies ahead of it, and ironically enough, it is threatened by the possible outcomes in the course of its own due actions. AI and its evolution with time also proved to be a big threat. Created to assist human beings has slowly come down to concluding eliminating its creator itself, once again pushing humankind into oblivion yet again, by its own hands. Besides the above-mentioned threats, AI continues to obliterate the presence needed for the very survival of the human race, with it slowly becoming self-sustaining. All of this is very alarming, even though most of it is hypothetical.